Success is the best revenge, but for Christmas, it was a battle for her reputation. When the final results of Britain's Got Talent were announced, it wasn't just a victory over other contestants. It was a definitive strike against a digital army of skeptics. For weeks, the headlines hadn't just been about her voice. They were about her professional past and alleged unfair advantage. Our investigation explores how transitioned from a target of internet vitriol to a symbol of resilience. The ultimate revenge wasn't found in a snarky social media post, but in the undeniable quality of her final performance. We examined the atmosphere of the grand finale, where every note she sang was a direct answer to those who claimed she didn't deserve to be there. This wasn't just a musical moment. It was a high-stakes trial where the public delivered a final verdict. How did a gym receptionist become the most polarizing figure in reality TV? To understand the scale of revenge, we must first look at the depth of the opposition she faced. The moment her professional credits were leaked online, a wave of organized backlash began to surge across social media platforms. Critics argued that the show's underdog narrative was a deliberate deception, labeling her an industry plant placed there to ensure a corporate win. This section breaks down the anatomy of that hate, looking at how viral threads created a toxic environment for the singer. The pressure was designed to make her fold and force the producers to distance themselves. We report on the specific accusations that fueled the fire and how the narrative of unfairness became a weapon used to try and delegitimize her talent before she even reached the finals. Behind the scenes, her silence was her greatest weapon. While the internet was screaming for an explanation, Christmas made a strategic choice that baffled her detractors. She stayed quiet. In an era where every celebrity feels the need to post a statement, focused entirely on the work. Our insiders suggest this was a deliberate move to let the talent do the talking. By refusing to engage with the trolls, she gave them the oxygen they needed to keep the controversy burning. This section explores the psychological discipline required to ignore thousands of hateful comments while preparing for the biggest performance of her life. We look at the support system that encouraged her to remain above the fray, transforming her perceived vulnerability into a source of stoic strength that would eventually make her victory feel even more earned. One song changed the narrative from professional to powerhouse. The turning point in her revenge arc came during the live semifinals. Up until that point, the conversation was dominated by her resume. However, her rendition of My Way was more than just a vocal showcase. It was a lyrical statement of intent. The choice of song was no accident. It was a declaration of her journey and her right to be on that stage. The sheer technical difficulty of the performance made the industry plant argument feel irrelevant. Our musical analysts explain how that specific performance forced even her harshest critics to acknowledge her world-class ability. It's hard to call someone a fraud when they are delivering a once-in-a-generation vocal live on national television. This was the moment the tide began to turn, as the narrative shifted from her past to her present. She didn't just ignore the noise, she used it as fuel. Reports from the rehearsal room suggest that was acutely aware of the haters, but instead of letting them break her, she channeled that frustration into her craft. Every industry plant comment became a reason to practice longer. Every fake accusation became a reason to be more authentic in her delivery. This section investigates the fuel of spite, the psychological phenomenon where elite performers use negative energy to reach a new level of excellence. We speak with performance experts about how anger toward the unfair labels likely added a layer of grit and determination to her vocals that might not have been there otherwise. Her revenge was built on the very bricks her enemies threw at her, turning the most difficult period of her life into the foundation of her eventual triumph. The hater narrative backfired, creating a wave of sympathy. One of the most fascinating aspects of this investigation is how the excessive bullying actually helped her win. As the digital attacks grew more personal and vicious, the silent majority of viewers began to feel protective of her. The over-the-top nature of the criticism turned her back into a true underdog, not because of her job, but because she was a woman being unfairly targeted for her success. Our data analysis of social media sentiment shows a clear shift in the final days leading up to the vote. The haters had inadvertently created a massive pro-movement driven by people who were tired of online toxicity. By trying to bring her down, the critics actually pushed her to the top of proving that a villainous crowd can often create a beloved hero. The numbers don't lie, and they spoke volumes that night. When the voting percentages were released, the scale of revenge was revealed. She didn't just win, she dominated the vote. This was the ultimate silence for those who claimed the show was rigged or that she wasn't liked by the public. We break down the voting demographics that secured her the title, showing a broad base of support that spanned all ages and regions. Winning by a landslide proved that the vocal minority on social media did not represent the voting majority of the country. This section analyzes how the final result acted as a definitive closing of the case. For the trophy was a receipt, a tangible piece of evidence that the people who actually watched and listened chose her over the noise of the internet. It was the moment the hater narrative officially died. Her first words after winning were the ultimate class act. While many expected her to take a victory lap or call out her critics, its post-win behavior remained remarkably humble. This class act approach was the final stage of her revenge. By showing grace instead of bitterness, she made her detractors look even smaller. Our report examines her initial interviews and public appearances following the finale, where she focused on gratitude rather than grievances. This strategic humility made it impossible for the haters to continue their campaign without looking desperate. She had won the money, the contract, and the title, but by winning the moral high ground, she secured a long-term future in the industry. We look at how this branding move helped her transition from controversial winner to national sweetheart in the weeks following the show. Industry she was accused of being planted and finally embraced her. The ultimate revenge for any performer is a busy schedule and a full bank account. Following her win, the very West End community that sparked the controversy opened its doors wider than ever. But this time, it wasn't for minor roles, it was for headlining opportunities. We investigate the surge in her market value and how the BGT controversy actually served as a massive free marketing campaign for her talent. Every news story about her past was essentially an advertisement for her professional capability. Now, as she signs major recording deals and plans a national tour, the haters are left watching from the sidelines as she achieves the exact career they tried to prevent. The revenge is now complete. She is no longer just a BGT winner, but a viable, profitable star. She taught in surviving the reality TV machine. As we conclude this report, the untold story of Christmas is one of survival. She didn't just win a talent show. She survived a character assassination attempt and came out on top. Her journey has become a blueprint for future contestants on how to handle the inevitable industry plant, labels, and digital backlash. The heartbreaking truth turned into an inspiring lesson on resilience. We look at her legacy now, a winner who stood her ground, kept her mouth shut, and let her voice be the final word. The ultimate revenge was never about the haters. It was about proving to herself that she belonged on that stage. Christmas silenced the world by simply being too good to ignore, leaving the critics with nothing left to say. The lights have dimmed on the BGT stage, but its real story is just beginning.